Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the most eagerly anticipated fights on the card. We've got two lightweights with us, James Nakashima and debutant Saygid Izagakhmaev. We're going to start with you, James. You had two really tough matchups, and this is the first time we're seeing you compete in a year. How's the preparation been for this mentally and physically after suffering those setbacks?
Oh, it's been great. I'm totally ready, locked in, ready to go.
Saygid, big debut for you, big test as well. James Nakashima, how do you feel about this challenge?
Saygid, приветствую вас. Этот бой будет такой достаточно, во-первых, первый и интересный бой. Как вы чувствуете себя перед этим боем?
Приветствую. Как всегда, я уверен в себе и в своей победе. Я приехал сюда за победой. И нет никаких проблем, чтобы подраться с Джеймсом. И то, что он бывший претендент, меня это никак не устраивает, только радует. Я привык драться с сильными оппонентами.
Hi, everyone. It doesn't really matter to me, like if it's a first fight for me or it's debut. I'm fully ready. I'm very happy to face James. He has a good experience in one championship, so it's gonna be a good fight.
James, we know how much you believe in your wrestling, that you can beat anyone in the world. Has Saygid got anything to test you in that regard? Are you the better man when it comes to the wrestling?
Oh, he's a world-class grappler. Trains under Khabib at Eagles. We'll find out.
How do you think this fight will going? Is that what we're going to see? Are we going to see a real grappling test here? Or do you think we're going to see a very mixed contest?
Yeah, I see two well-rounded, complete fighters. I see a war of attrition.
Saygid, what about your wrestling? Do you see anybody able to test you on the ground? And do you see yourself as the better wrestler here?
Saygid, что насчет вашей борьбы? Считаете ли, что она лучше против вашего соперника?
Насчет борьбы, бороться, конечно, я умею, и защищаться умею, и атаковать умею. С борьбой у меня нет проблем. И я также знаю, что Джеймс это бывший выходец из вольной борьбы, из школы борьбы Америки. И посмотрим, в бою видно будет. Но я не думаю, что Джеймс сможет где-то меня перебороть или удержать где-то на полу или что-то сделать. Посмотрим, в бою все скажется.
About the wrestling, well, I would say I know how to be, I know how to attack, I know how to defend in the wrestling, and I know that James is is the ex-wrestler and in America, so he has a good, wrestling background. But I would say we will see in the fight, but I don't expect him be better on this fight against me in wrestling.
James, we mentioned a couple of tough fights for you, and you said you weren't yourself against Shinya. Do you think it's going to be a case of seeing the real James Nakashima in this fight?
Absolutely. That's what I spent this whole last year, recollecting, reinventing, and I can feel it. I'm ready to go. I'm excited, man. It's going to be it feels good to be able to get out and perform again.
Do you think with the hype surrounding this fight, with Khabib being in his corner, with him coming off of 2 wins, do you feel you're being painted as the underdog here?
No, I don't really. I didn't even think about that. I don't really know.
Is that ever a factor for you? Do you prefer being the underdog or do you prefer being the favorite?
No, I don't really. It doesn't matter.
Saygid, do you feel pressure to make a statement here that it's your debut and there's a lot of anticipation behind this fight?
Saygid, есть ли какое-нибудь волнение, то, что, это твой первый бой, это дебют, и какие-то, не знаю, прогнозы?
Нет, волнения никакой не чувствуется. Я, как всегда, уверен в себе, и я бы сюда не приехал бы, если бы я волновался бы за что-либо. И как я сказал, я наоборот рад, что у меня сильный соперник и бывший претендент. Я могу заявить о себе.
No, absolutely not. I don't have that. I'm fully relaxed to this fight, and as I told, I'm so excited that I'm fighting James Nakashima because he's a ex-contender to the belt, so it's gonna be fun.
James, do you think Saygid has any kind of advantage having Khabib in his corner, or is that something that's emphasized by the fans and the media?
No, I got my brother in my corner. We've done this together, my entire career. So I feel good. I feel prepared. I don't look into that stuff too much.
Saygid, how significant is it for you having Khabib in his corner? I believe he's never lost a fight as a coach or a fighter.
Saygid, насколько очень важно для тебя иметь Хабиба в углу? Он никогда не проигрывал, ни как боец, ни как тренер.
Да, Хабиб мне уже я скажу, Хабиб мне как брат, я вырос с ним, и когда он бывает у меня в углу, это чувствуется особый настрой. И, конечно же, от него бывают правильные подсказки в бою, и вот именно в бою с Джеймсом, я думаю, у нас будет борьба, и правильные подсказки будут решать в этом.
Yeah, having Habib in my corner is really significant. He's my brother. We were training for almost 15 years, and he always gives the correct hints. And I'm sure with James, he will give me that too.
Saygid, I read that you feel that you have the same style as Khabib and Islam. Very strong in ground and pound, lots of smashing and imposing your will on the ground. Is that what you expect to see here against James?
Saygid, он говорит, что он прочитал, что ты говорил, что у меня примерно одинаковый стиль боя, ведения боя, как Хабиб, как Ислам. Это на земле, на граунде, потом в стойке смешанное, да. Ожидаешь ли ты то же самое выполнять именно в этом?
Да, раскрывать свой план я сейчас не буду, но у нас есть определенный план, и я буду его придерживаться. Но Ислам и Хабиб, это, конечно, они мне тоже посоветовали, это мои постоянные спарринг-партнеры, с кем я спаррингую. Есть план, буду его придерживаться.
I'm not going to reveal the plan of what will happen. There is a plan. We'll follow that plan. But of course, I've been having my sparrings with Habib and Islam, and definitely there's something to learn there as well.
James, you already have a win over an Eagles MMA fighter, Magomedaliev. Does that give you extra confidence here, knowing that you know how to beat that style?
No, I don't think they have similar styles. I think that they're pretty different. I think that would be like, him if he were to have fought Benson, or if he was going to fight Benson Henderson in the next, after me or before me, and trying to say that we have similar styles. It's too dynamic and too. I don't see that.
Following on from Mayoki, when this test came up, did this feel right to you? Did this feel like the right challenge for you right now?
Saygid is a world-class MMA fighter. That's what I want. I want to fight the best. I want to be the best. I want to continue to grow. I want these big stages. I love this. I love this pressure. I love this game.
How happy are you at lightweight now? Is this where you are strongest?
Yeah, it's my natural weight. It's really easy for me to walk around at this weight, to compete here. So feeling good.
Saygid, James has fought for a welterweight title and one championship. How pleased are you with this challenge, and where does this put you? Does this send you straight into the top 5, do you think?
Saygid, Джеймс дрался за пояс, и как ты вообще об этом думаешь? И думаешь ли ты после победы это поставить тебя выше в рейтинге и ближе к поясу?
Да, я посмотрел последние бои Джеймса, и вообще, когда еще меня с ним не связали, я тоже смотрел его бои, обычно всех своих потенциальных соперников смотрю. Да, Джеймс крепкий соперник, я думаю, после этой победы я заявлю о себе.
About the James, I watched his fights, a couple of his fights, and even before one championship, I always look at my opponents in my weight division. So about him, yes, I watched it, and after the win, they definitely will push me closer.
Saygid, what do you think are James's biggest weaknesses as a fighter?
Saygid, что ты думаешь по поводу слабых сторон, скажем, Джеймса?
Не знаю, я его посмотрел много боев. Там в боях особо такого заметного ничего не было, что он где-то слабый. Я сказал бы такой, Джеймс это более универсальный боец, где борется и где бьет. В бою уже я на все эти вопросы дам ответ.
Watching his fights, it wasn't really noticeable. He's kind of diverse fighter. Sometimes he does this, and sometimes he's different. So I think in the fight, I will show what's his weakness.
The same question for you, James. What weaknesses do you feel you can exploit of Saygid's?
Man, like I said, Saygid is a world-class MMA fighter. This is a game of inches. There isn't much separation here. It's going to be very important moments in this fight. Like he said, we'll find out in the fight.
You guys come from two of the powerhouses in terms of wrestling, American wrestling, combat sambo, Russian wrestling. I know that we touched upon it earlier, but who's going to win in that battle, do you think? Which is the stronger style, the American wrestling or Russian grappling?
And I believe in the American wrestler, but you know, the Russians are right there too. So it's I believe in myself, and otherwise, I don't think you belong in this game if you don't believe in yourself. So American wrestler, the Russian combat sambo, I don't know anything about all that stuff. I believe in myself. I believe in the American wrestling, and I'm excited.
Saygid, do you believe that the Dagestani Russian style of wrestling is the strongest for MMA? And is there any style in the world that can compete with that?
Заид, думаешь ли ты, что борьба, дагестанская борьба самая сильная в мире, и есть ли вообще какой-то стиль, который может, не знаю, преобладеть, чем дагестанская борьба?
Ну, я не знаю, но я опять-таки думаю, это смотря кто. Ну, конечно, борьба в Дагестане это одна из самых сильных в мире. Но и бывают случаи, конечно, исключения бывают, но я думаю, да. Ну, считать из тех, кто в лидерах, это, большинство дагестанцев лидируют именно в борьбе.
I think it is. Dagestan wrestling is as it proved, one of the best in the world. And among the leaders, if you look at the Olympics as well, Dagestanis are at the top and the number one. So there are exceptions, but yes, I believe the Dagestan wrestling is very strong.
James, Saygid has 2 losses on his record, the same as you. Have you watched those losses, and did you learn anything from those fights?
Yeah, of course. I try and handicap all of my opponents. So I watched some of his fights and took away some stuff, and we put it in the game plan.
How important is it for you to finish an opponent? What would it mean for you and your trajectory to get the finish over Saygid with his reputation?
At this point in my career, where I was just talking to Rick, it's very important to, finishing or the decisions, whatever, just perform and be exciting. And it's a big message I'm telling myself going into my career from here on out. This fight, we're thinking bigger, great performances, creating special performances.
Saygid, a lot is expected of you, but you seem to enjoy those expectations. Are you putting the impetus on yourself to get a big finish here, or are you just looking for a win?
Saygid, много ожидается от тебя в этом бою, и кажется, что ты именно наслаждаешься этим моментом. Думаешь ли ты, что ты его финишируешь, либо же дойдет до решения судей?
Не знаю, посмотрим. Я думаю, если будет возможность, конечно, я постараюсь выиграть досрочно, но все в руках Господа, посмотрим.
We will see. We will see in the fight. Definitely, I will push harder to finish him. But of course, everything is in the hands of God. So we will see.
Saygid, I've seen you mention the likes of Eddie Alvarez and Okrayun in interviews. Is this your chance to send a message to those guys? And is that what's next for you if you get a big win here?
Мы видели, что ты отправлял, скажем так, посылку, сообщение Альваресу, его оппоненту предыдущему. Это этот бой, который ты ждешь в этом дивизионе, в этой организации?
Да, когда я еще был маленьким, я еще был молодым, особо известности не обладал, но меня никто не знал. Я смотрел бои Эдди, Аоки. И, конечно, для меня это большое удовольствие подраться с такими бойцами, которые были чемпионами в многих организациях мира, лидирующих. И победа над ними это даст мне многое. А ок, он чемпион нашей организации, только поэтому хочу с ним драться.
Yeah, when I was younger and just on on early stages of my career, preparing for my fights. Yeah, I was watching the stars like Eddie Alvarez of MMA and Shinya Aoki, of course, and was always admiring them and enjoying that. But about Oki, well, Oki is the champion, and just want to beat him. Then that's it.
James, you know Shinya well. Is the victory here your path to getting a rematch and getting back in the top 5?
I would love that rematch, but I'm you know me, Andrew. I'm locked in on this fight, and that's really all that's on my radar right now.
Absolutely. We have to ask, though. We have to ask. We're always looking ahead to those next matchups. You've won a world title, James. You know what it's like. How significant is that to transition from just beating people to winning a belt, and how important is that knowledge going into this fight for you?
And I mean, yeah, I like that. It was, I fought some really tough opponents fighting for those belts, and 5-round fights, and they all went the distance. So it was huge experience for me. Yeah, and I happened to weather some tough moments in those fights. Yeah, it's been a lot of experience, and yeah, it'll definitely pay off.
On a similar note, Saygid, Khabib knows better than anybody what it takes to win a belt. What has he taught you about that champion mindset?
И, Саид, разговаривал ли с тобой Хабиб по поводу скажем так, менталитета, вот как чемпион, да, он сам был чемпионом, он получил этот пояс. Были такие беседы с ним насчет вот этого вот именно мышления как чемпиона?
Это как бы таковых мышлений не было, так как, чтобы дойти до титула, мне нужно выиграть минимум пару боев. И когда я уже буду на этой стадии, я думаю, мы будем с ним разговаривать об этом.
Well, not really. I never had that, conversations with him. The most important is step by step going to that belt. But once I have that belt, I think we'll get that conversation.
Saygid, if you get this win, will we hear you say a name on the microphone? Will we hear you choose your next opponent?
Если ты победишь этого своего сейчас, которого оппонента, назовешь ли ты бойца, с кем ты бы захотел подраться сразу после боя? Вызовешь ли ты кого-нибудь?
Ну, пока у меня есть оппонент, с кем нужно мне подраться и кого нужно мне выиграть, это Джеймс Накашима. Я только сконцентрирован на Джеймсе. И только после боя я могу что-то о чем-то подумать или сказать.
So as of now, I have my focus. It's James Nakashima. I already have the name, so let me focus on that. But after the fight, well, we'll see. We'll see who I'm going to call out.
James, you've won 3 times in this promotion. You fought 5 times in this promotion. You know this promotion. You know Singapore. He's a debutant. Is that going to be a factor here?
No, I think he comes from a great gym, from great coaching and stuff. I think he'll be totally prepared for something like that. I don't think that it really affected me too much either. So I just think at at this world class level, I don't think that matters too much.
Do you have a prediction or a feeling about how this fight's going to go?
Yeah, like I said, I think it's going to be a fight of inches, and I think it's going to be a war of attrition, and I just think there's going to be really important moments, and that's about it. We'll just see. I can't get into that stuff. Like, I don't know. I'm not a soothsayer or somebody who can predict the future. So just I'm excited to perform, man. It's been a good year. I'm prepared. I'm ready to go.
Fantastic. And Saygid, same for you. Do you have a feeling for this one? Do you have a prediction about how it's going to go?
Сагид, и вопрос тебе. Есть какие-то, может быть, предсказания по поводу этого боя, как этот бой пойдет?
Таких предсказаний нету. Ну, как я сказал, у нас может быть борьба, может быть, мы будем стойки перестреливаться. Посмотрим, в бою видно будет. Не могу сказать.
Like no specific predictions, as I told, like we, during the fight we will we will be wrestling and we will be, striking. So everything will depends on during the fight. So we will see on the fight.
James, we've missed you. It's been a year. So what's the plan for 22? Are we going to see more of you? What's on the agenda?
Yeah, I mean, trying to live in the moment. I'm still trying to figure out everything we got to do today. And I'm locked in on Saygid. And yeah, I'll be back 2022.
Saygid, do you have big plans for this year?
Saygid, есть ли у тебя большие планы по поводу этого года?
Да, есть. До конца года у меня есть план, чтобы я сделал хотя бы минимум 3 боя. И хочу добраться до титула.
Yeah, of course. I have the plan until end of the year. I'm planning, to at least have 3 fights and be closer to my fighting belt.
Brilliant stuff, guys. We cannot wait to see how this one pans out. Thank you both for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Спасибо большое, Saygid.
Thank you.